So you land into a game, your building and aim are decent, but somehow you still lose fights you know you should win. That frustration isn't because you're bad, it's because you're not practicing the right way. In this video, I'll break down exactly how pros get better in every part of Fortnite: creative, reload, battle royale, and most importantly, scrims. So follow this plan and you'll see faster, smarter progress in your gameplay right away. And before we hop into this video, only 10.5% of you guys watching right now are subscribed. So please subscribe to help me reach 50k subscribers by the end of this month. All right, let's jump right into it. The first thing is creative. Creative is where pros build the base for every skill they use in the game, but most players treat it like free time. The first key is isolation drills, practicing one skill at a time until it feels automatic. For example, spend time only on ramping, placing cones, doing 90s or triple edits. Focus on speed, accuracy, and consistency, and track your progress over multiple days. Pros don't just grind endlessly, they try to see real improvement, noting their times, hits, or successful resets. Once skills feel solid, the next step is combo drills. This is where single skills are linked together into sequences that feel like real fights. For example, ramp rush flows into an edit, into a box, then a cone, then a high ground, and then into a full box. The key is to variety and surprise. Don't let your brain autopilot a single drill. Mix it up so your reactions are active. Combining these single skill drills with these sequences helps pros make skills automatic when under pressure. But pros don't just stop at repeating skills. They also use creative to copy real fights by adding things like cover, high ground angles, or tight spaces like real maps, adding a choice element like knowing when to push or when to back off. That connects muscle memory to real gameplay. By the end of their session, your skills are solid, but your brain also knows how and when to use them, giving you an edge in every fight. Another tip pros use is increasing difficulty gradually. Start with easy drills, then slowly make them harder. Different fight heights, tricky terrain, or low mats. For example, practice 1v1s where your opponent appears from random angles or uses unpredictable edit patterns. The goal is flexibility, training your brain to react to anything instead of repeating boring, predictable drills. You can even challenge yourself by adding timers, limiting mats, or using only certain weapons. These small changes push your mind to think faster and adapt way better and faster. Finally, pros often track measurable progress, like average edits per minute, hit accuracy, or time to high ground. By checking your stats, you can see weak spots and focus your drills better. Creative isn't just for warm-ups, it's a structured lab for learning and getting better at the game. By combining single-skill drills, sequences, realistic fight scenarios, progressive difficulty, and stats tracking, creative becomes the engine that drives real improvement and helps you climb faster than just grinding random matches. This also keeps your practice focused and prevents wasted time on habits that won't actually make you better. But next is transferring creative skills to realistic maps. After learning skills in creative, pros move to realistic creative maps or clutch realistics. These maps copy the conditions you'll face in real battle royale games: rotations, natural cover, and unpredictable enemy. The big difference is that you can practice fights over and over without waiting for a full match to restart and get those fights in. Here, your goal is using learned skills in real situations. For example, a ramp and a cone combo from creative now has to be done while reacting to an opponent using cover and terrain. Timing, spacing, and choices are the focus, not just your building. By practicing in realistic maps, you start building instincts for rotations, pressure, and fight timing so your reactions in live games feel natural. Pros use this stage to train situational awareness. You'll learn to read enemy positions, predict third-party threats, and make split-second calls on when to fight or when to run. Instead of repeating skills blindly, you're thinking about the situation, which improves you faster than just grinding aim or edits alone. Another method is scenario replication. Pros often recreate fights they lost in BR or reload within these realistic maps, then practice until they handle the same situation perfectly. For example, if you struggle taking high ground against aggressive players, recreate a similar fight and try different approaches until you find the best way to win. Practicing these situations helps you recognize patterns and react instinctively in live games, which is exactly what separates casual players from pro players. This type of practice connects controlled drills to real matches, improving both skills and decision-making under pressure. It's also how you transfer your creative skills to real games. Now the third thing, reload. Reload is where players can really get better fast, sometimes even quicker than in Battle Royale. Why? You can get into a huge number of fights quickly, seeing situations that would take hours to happen in BR, from weird angles to high ground resets, close range duels, and long range fights. Reload packs in experience extremely fast, so pros use reload to adjust to every part of fights: enemy positions, mat counts, weapon timing, and environmental changes. Each fight is like an experiment. You can try aggressive pushes, defensive resets, or surprise angles without waiting for a full match, because if you die, you get to reload. This repeated exposure trains not just your skills, but also your decision making, speed, and reactions under constant pressure. A key strategy is resetting and fighting again. If a fight goes wrong, pros don't give up. They rebuild, reposition, and attack again. This trains toughness, teaches a recovery under pressure, and shows how to adjust instinctively. For example, if a player pushes too hard and loses, repeating similar situations trains your brain to notice mistakes and correct them the next time you're in that same situation. Reload also gives exposure to many different fight setups. You'll constantly see new angles, weapon combos, and enemy strategies, unlike BR, which is slower and more unpredictable. Reload packs hundreds of different situations into an hour, making it the fastest way to learn how to adapt. Pros also use reload for skill growth. For example, all the skills you learn in creative and trying to transfer your skills from creative to real games, they do that same thing in Reload because once again, you could take all those fights. If your main goal for the day was training your piece control and you did that in all of your training for earlier that day, now you're going to try and use that training that you learned in the creative and trying to transfer your creative to real games, and you're going to do that in Reload. So every opponent you face, you're going to try and piece them up regardless if you die or win. Now, let's talk about Risen's tweaks for a sec. If you want to get better at Fortnite, smooth gameplay is just as important as knowing rotations or building tricks. Risen's tweaks is an FPS ping and lag optimizer that helps your game run smoother, reduces lags, and gives you that extra edge in every fight. It works on all types of setups and makes your movement feel faster and more natural. And here's the best part. If you click the link or use my code FLOW at checkout, you'll get 15% off. I've tried it myself, and even small improvements makes a noticeable difference in every match. Better FPS and lower lag makes your edits, shots, and rotations feel faster, smoother, and more consistent. If you've ever felt like you've lost a fight because your game lagged or your build didn't place right, this tweak can really help fix that. It's a simple upgrade that gives you more control and confidence in every match. Alright, now into the fourth thing, Battle Royale. Battle Royale is slower than Reload, a lot slower, but it's still important because it teaches realistic fight pacing and decision making. Here, fights are more spaced out, rotations matter a lot more, and resources are way more limited. Pros use BR to practice patience, map awareness, and controlling fights smartly. A core skill in BR is resetting and fighting again, like in Reload, but under real game conditions. Every fight can involve multiple enemies, tricky terrain, or way more third-party pressure. Pros treat each fight as a lesson, learning whether their position, timing, or pressure was right or wrong. BR also focuses on real decision making. Unlike the fast pace of Reload, BR teaches when to pick fights, when to step back, and how to manage mats, health, and position across several fights. For example, after an early fight, you might rotate through a mountain to gain height advantage later, or pick a low-risk fight that keeps your rotations more open. Pros also focus on mid to late game strategy in BR. They plan rotations based on storm, enemy spots, and mats. Practicing rotations and smart fight decisions ensures the skills from creative and Reload actually lead to real progress in the game. Pros even think about where fights might happen, who to third party, and when to slow down and prepare for later game. So combine all of that and put it all into your BR. Now, the final part and most important, Scrims. Scrims are where pros put everything you learn together. This is high pressure, competitive play against top players, and it's where creative, Reload, and BR skills all connect. Every rotation, fight, and decision is intentional, giving you instant feedback on what works and what actually doesn't, and preparing you guys for tournaments. Scrims trains awareness and playing under stress. Pros learn how to handle multiple enemies, make fast rotation calls, and survive tense late game moments. Unlike casual BR, mistakes aren't so forgiven, so you improve a lot faster because you make a lot better decisions. Scrims also practice tournament level skills. Every fight, rotation, reset, or re-engage mirrors top level events. Pros focus on improving, using new tricks from creative, texting flexibility from Reload, and refining choices from BR. Scrims are also a good place to test small new strategies, like slightly changing your rotation or trying a different reset pattern, and then seeing how it works in real pressure situations. But the main power of Scrims is combining everything. You use skills, awareness, rotations, and focus all at once. Every session makes you stronger, more confident, and ready for tournaments or high-level solo duo matches. Pros also test new strategies, so they also fix their rotations and also build habits that lead to way more wins, which then leads to winning in tournaments and making that first money. One pro tip is reviewing Scrims. Every pro watches recordings to see where their choices could be faster, rotations could be better, or fights handled differently. Post-game review turns every scrim into a very important learning session, not just another match. By doing this, you make sure every mistake actually helps you get better. But to recap all of this, you'll want to start with creative to isolate and learn skills, then move to realistic maps to apply them to more realistic situations, use Reload for lots of fights, resets, and your adaptability. Then you want to play BR to practice pacing, rotations, and real fights. Finally, put everything together in Scrims to perform under pressure and improve your overall competitive play to get ready for tournaments. This plan is faster and smarter than grinding random games or repeating drills without thinking. So focus on smart practice, use your skill in real situations, and your Fortnite skill will climb faster than you imagine. If you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below if you're excited for the new Simpsons season. Thank you guys for taking time out of your day to watch my video, and I love you all. Go check out Risen's tweaks as well. Peace, guys.